Good morning, everyone. It is June 3rd here in Southwest Ohio, and it has been unusually cold here this winter. This spring. Today should get into the 80s, and it's really the first time in quite a while. So we've been battling a lot of cold weather. So let me show you what we got. Here's the front landscaping. Nothing edible here. Did get mulch in this year, but these prickly weeds, nothing stopping them. Gonna have to pick them out. Hostas are doing well. Also got some vinca vine. That stuff spreads like a weed. Yeah, let's get to the vegetables. Alright, here's the first part. The blueberry plants were doing very well. Now they are not doing well. The one in there and the one over here. And then the last guy is back here. And these were doing better, but the only thing I can think of is something eats the leaves off of blueberry plants, because that first one has been stripped of almost all its leaves. So trying to protect it. And then I got the mystery hot pepper plants. And like I said, it's been really cold. So these guys are just trucking along, trying to establish themselves, but it's just haven't had any hot days. But all that's changing today. Supposed to get into almost 90 degrees. So finally going to get some heat here. And we'll see how it reacts to that. I see a bunch of weeds growing in here too. But I do have pepper plant there, pepper plant there, pepper plant behind that big weed, and a pepper plant there. Here's the raspberries. They are just really super healthy. And I wonder if it would be beneficial to even take some of them out. You know, they don't really spread out into the grass, which seems odd, but they spread everywhere else. I actually have some berries starting to turn red. So, they don't get very big, but I do get a lot of them. Not a whole lot of flowers left. Usually a lot of bees up in here, but not right now. Let's put on a batch, in the next few weeks, and it'll take the summer off, and then more raspberries will show up come the fall. So we get 2 rounds. Looking forward to that. Ain't nothing growing here. Alright. Apologize if the sun gets too bright back here, but that's what makes the garden go, right? Okay. So, this area's a mess, and I might try to work on this today. I planted a bunch of potatoes in here, which got one going here, already going to flower. Don't really see any potatoes under there, but usually they pop up out of the dirt a little bit, but haven't seen any of that this year. Got a couple more here. So these are probably red potatoes. The red potatoes usually do really well. The white ones not so much. This plant here is a weed. I need to get rid of that. It's kind of a newer weed. Haven't seen that one. That, or it could be, you know what, that might be a sweet potato. Maybe I'll let that go. Yeah, that might actually be a sweet potato plant. I did plant a couple of those. Pepper plants look awful out here. Don't know if it's lack of nutrients in the dirt or what, but there's one habanero there, one habanero there, and they look absolutely awful. So, hopefully when I clean this up today and the sun starts coming out, they will rebound, but for now, they're not looking good. Not dead. Here's my radishes. I barely ate any of them, and it's gone to seed, which you can eat the pods. So maybe I can do that a little bit, but wildlife certainly enjoys it, so Until I decide something better to do, I guess I'll just let them go. I do think there's a pepper plant down in there somewhere. I'll try to dig him out later. Hey, over here, I believe I have a cantaloupe there, and then a cantaloupe there. I'm pretty sure I had one there that is no longer there. On the outside of the arbor are cucumbers. I got one there. This guy's actually doing pretty well. This area could use a weeding too. I got some raspberries coming through on this side. I don't know if I want them. Those won't put any on in the spring. They're new, so they won't put any on until the fall. Okay, my plan here in this little area was to have cantaloupe, watermelon, honeydew, just whatever kind of vining thing to grow out into the yard, but nothing's really coming up. I did put a tomato plant here, and this is, you know, you don't always have to buy seeds. We went to Olive Garden, and there was a cherry tomato in it, and it looked nice, so I kept the cherry tomato and got 3 plants. 2 of them are over there. I'll show you them in a little while. This is the first one, and it's actually been putting on tomatoes already, so that's pretty cool. Not a lot of tomatoes. This one started off real rough, so I'm glad it rebounded. I need to get a bigger stick to put it on. Put that one there maybe. And like I said, none of the melons have really sprouted. I think there was one down on the very end. Let's see, that might be one there. Yeah, these guys here. They're the only ones that have come up so far, and I'm not exactly killing it. So, I don't know. May have to come up with something else there. Okay, the main garden. This was going to be a bunch of squash and watermelon. The watermelon I don't think are really growing. This is a mystery squash. It could be a pumpkin, which I wouldn't be overly excited about, but for now we'll let it go. I also have pepper plants growing out here. Not really sure what they are. I know one is a jalapeno. My guess is that one. That one might be an habanero. I am not sure. This is a bell pepper, I believe. I think that one, and then that one. Bell peppers. And then another mystery squash. Then I have 2 mystery squashes, one here and one here that are small. So I'll let those go and see what they are. Another one there, but I don't know what that is. Here's the first eggplant that grew. Didn't get around to eating it and didn't look that great, so that was way early for that one to be growing. Okay, so here's something here. Not sure what that is, but hopefully it survives. Nothing came up there. Planted that yesterday. I had it in a little pot. And this one here, I don't know what that was, but it's not doing overly well. Now the eggplant. The damn eggplant, I tell you what. These damn... I mean, look at all those flea beetles. If it wasn't for these flea beetles, I would have just the most absolute best eggplants ever. I mean, they grow so well here, but these flea beetles are just so destructive. You know, and I thought these plants were big enough to fight them off, but clearly not. Because these guys are barely surviving. And this guy already had a little eggplant grow on it. This guy here looks like a watermelon, I believe. And here's my pineapple. Not really expecting much there, but it'll be fun to grow. It's a volunteer tomato plant. No idea what that is. I might just let it go though, because why not? Get something out of this area. See, this is a cucumber plant there. Doing fairly well. This one is not. I did have a third one, but it's completely gone now. So I don't know what happened to that. Here's my pokeberry. Grow that for the birds. It's enormous this year. Got berries starting to grow. I don't know anything about pokeberries, but this one has a huge root, and I think that root just stays alive over the winter and comes back. And every year this thing just gets healthier and healthier and healthier. Here's the maple tree I cut back every year. It looks like it needs a trimming. It's actually doubled in size since the beginning of spring, so it's starting to grow a lot faster. These are a bush. Alright, now let's take you into the almost successful part. I had to cover my tomato stakes with Gatorade bottles because don't want the boy to poke his eye out playing basketball out here. So this netting serves two purposes. Keeps the wildlife out. Saw a rabbit out here this morning trying to get through unsuccessfully. Keeps the deer out. But I also use it for our pet rabbit to run around in there and not escape. But then he obviously eats what I'm growing, so got to share with him. His favorite is this bok choy, but the bok choy's gone to seed. The wild rabbits prefer, at least from what I've noticed, these beans. I can't really afford to have our rabbit eating the beans, but he's got a hold of that one. I started to munch on that one, so I don't know what I'm going to do with him, how much longer. I did put down between every tomato plant all the way down through bok choy. Planted more bok choy, hopefully keep him happy when it comes up. Leave the cage in here because we got plenty of falcons here that scare him, and he'll run in there when he sees their shadows. Okay, try to walk you through what I got in here. It's a little crowded, so it won't be the easiest, and got a lot going on. Got wild tomato coming up there, but then this green thing here is a hardy kiwi, and here they are supposed to grow 10 to 15 feet a year, so the plan is to have it grow up and around this arbor. Never had hardy kiwi. I like regular kiwi, so hopefully it's kind of like that. You see, we got the beans. Beans are doing great. I'll show you those sporadically as I go down. The bok choy has gone to seed, as I said before. So these pods will eventually dry out and the seed will drop. And I guess I'll have to save a lot of that seed. Tomato plants are looking pretty good. All I can tell you is I have, how many varieties? 4, I believe. I tried to grow 2 of each, but one did not make it. I have a Roma tomato, a beefsteak tomato, something called a Zapotec tomato that I won from a YouTuber about 10 years ago. The seed is actually still working. And then more of the Olive Garden cherry tomatoes. So they're real healthy right now. I mean, really thick and green and lush. Starting to get some tomato flowers started, but no tomatoes. I also got peas growing back here. That one's ready to go. I don't know what it is about the peas I grow. The plants only get like a foot tall before they start putting peas on. just doesn't seem very good. I also I had planted carrots all along this fence here that never came up, but sporadically I have a carrot coming up here and there. So might get a handful of carrots. Some of them are coming up outside the netting, so they'll be at the wildlife's mercy. More beans. Got lots of beans in an antler shed found about 15 years ago. Got two different pea varieties going on. Got this one here, it's a little lighter green, and then these darker green. The darker green ones are the ones that are already making pods that you can eat. So hopefully these go for a while and get a little taller. So I believe the last two, I don't know, I really wish I knew what varieties were which. I really should have marked them. Because I tried to do 222. So these two would be different than the first two. I'll find out when they grow tomatoes, right? Got some more beans. Another carrot over there. I wish I would have got more carrots. That's the only disappointing thing. And some more tomatoes going on there. This tomato here is the one that died. You can see there, it just broke off. Thought it might come back, but this has been like 3 weeks. Still looks alive, but I found a volunteer tomato out in the garden, so I just put that in there. I know these last two are the cherry tomatoes. You see how many they're starting to put on already. Yeah, this bean's a new guy. Nothing came up there, so I had to restart it. This is the other cherry. Flowers have opened. Looks like I got some tomatoes starting to grow there. Oh. And then more peas back here. They're not doing great. They don't get a lot of sun. Let's see, the rabbit was munching on that one last night. So, he also enjoys this grass. I don't know, he eats everything. Okay, so I believe that's all I really have to show you. Things are going fairly well. Like I said, we need some heat. We got plenty of rain in May. More than we needed, but it did wonders to establish the garden. Get the plants all in there and everything else. The only other thing I really have is this eyesore of raspberries. I hate to take them out because, I mean, look at all the raspberries that are growing. But I believe we're going to put a patio awning up maybe, and this will all have to go. Things will drastically change if we do that. Might even lose part of my garden. Okay, so that's what I have going on right now. Appreciate everybody who's watching. Feel free to comment and ask any questions, what you'd like to see more of, or questions on how I did anything. Just let me know, or if you have any suggestions, because I certainly don't know everything and could use the help. And I will see everybody next time. Hopefully the next one will be a little bit sooner. It's been a couple weeks, but not much has been going on with the weather. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see everyone next time.